The general is going down, but not without a fight. Julius goes marching on to the union buildings, and COSATU is 100% divided.
Hey, Buckers, did you read here? This guy was arrested, for flashing the Queen there by Australia. Yeah, I didn't know Elton John was even in Australia.
I like Elton John. Goodbye, enormous jeans.
No, my friend, it's Norma Jean. It's about that sexy bird, that blonde one, Marilyn Manson. Yeah, Bucky, shut up, man. Don't you know anything?
Hello, hater, how's it? I'm Tim Modisa, and this is ZANEWS. I don't have a studio guest today because he's pounding the pavements. Yes, a little later we'll be talking to Julius Malema on his long walk to economic freedom. But let's check in and see how it's going. Julius, can you hear me?
Do you know who I am?
Yes, but it still costs $6 bob.
Floyd, how much do you got on you?
$4.
Comrades, I'm calling on you to mobilize to deploy an extra 2 rand so that I can nationalize these revolutionary supplies made by the sacrifice of our potato comrades so that we can live to fight another day.
Okay, well, we'll join him again a little later. But first up, your ZANEWS headlines. Media reports suggest that the Youth League's march has split COSATU into 2 factions, with one supporting the march and the other opposed to it. Zwelinzima Vavi, is it true that there is discord in COSATU over Julius Malema's march?
Yes, Tim. COSATU is 100% unified, but 100% is made up of 50% and 50%, and those two 50% are on opposite sides on the fence.
It's a bit of a dilemma for COSATU, this march. I mean, you represent workers, not the unemployed poor. In fact, they are a threat to your members because the moment the workforce increases in size, supply and demand drives wages down.
Tim, it is very complicated.
But isn't it true that labor unions are by definition the enemy of the unemployed masses?
No. Well, yes. Although, no.
Is that your final answer?
Can I use the 50-50?
Well, it's been 4 days since the All Blacks hung on against a feisty France to win the Rugby World Cup in Auckland. Coach, now that the dust has settled, a good reminder that 1 point can make all the difference.
Oh yeah, Tim, rugby is like life, 1 point can make all the difference.
Very true, Coach.
Yeah, like this morning, I saw this ugly woman and I said to Buckies, hey, Buckies, check that ugly woman. And I pointed, you see, just 1 point. And she saw and she moored me with her handbag, If I hadn't made 1 point, I wouldn't have got moored.
So watching the final must have been a bittersweet moment for you.
Yeah, it was. No, wait, I just remembered. I didn't actually watch the final now that I think about it.
Why not?
No, man, I went to a friend to watch, but I got a bit emotional, The police and the medics said I was making people frightened because I was screaming and crying and snotting and tearing up cushions and throwing the cat, and my irritable bowels was making a hell of a noise, so they came and relaxed me.
They relaxed you?
Yeah, just a bit, They shot me in the neck with one of those darts they use on elephants, and I slept from, what's the day?
Thursday.
Yeah, I've been asleep since Sunday.
So, do you know who won?
Who won what?
The World Cup final. Coach! Hey, could we get a medic out there, please? President Jacob Kehle Zuma has reshuffled his cabinet, firing 2 ministers. And speaking of firing, Top Gun and loose cannon General Begitele is on his way out. General, is it true that you have been suspended?
You can take my furniture, but you can never take my freedom.
General, first this was Jackie Silebi, now you. Are there any senior policemen out there who are neither incompetent or corrupt?
Yes, Tim. There's TJ Hooker, and Harry Flanagan, and all the ones from NYPD Blue. And
Those are all on TV. They are not real.
so I was on TV all the time, denying this, denying that, denying the other thing. Am I not real? Excuse me, team. I think they are coming for my desk. Yippee-ki-ki! Mother.
And finally, to our special guest. We were going to have him in studio, but he's out on the street of Joburg today, marching for economic freedom in our lifetime, or anti-Zuma and pro-Mutante, or against Anglo-American, or for Muammar Gaddafi. It's hard to keep up. Julius, how's the turnout there in Joburg?
Team, it is huge. There are 57 million people here.
But there are only 50 million people in the whole country.
Yes, and they are all here.
I'm not.
Yes, you are, team. I can hear you in my ear. If you were not here, how could I hear you?
Julius, the Youth League issued a statement this week praising Muammar Gaddafi as a hero. How do you reconcile praising a man who allegedly slaughtered thousands of his own people?
Where are these alleged people? Why have they not come forward to accuse him?
Because they would be dead.
That's a rubbish excuse, team. You can still be very active in politics even if you are dead. Just look at all those dead people who vote for Comrade Robert Mugabe.
You also said that freedom fighters would be inspired by Gaddafi dying in combat. Would you like to die in combat?
Team, the Youth League is full of cadres willing to make that sacrifice. Floyd, you will take a bullet for me, no, Floyd?
A real bullet?
Yes. Floyd.
Julius, the Youth League has now thrown its support behind Kgalema Motlanthe, and you have said you will unseat Jacob Zuma.
Yeah, man, you didn't say anything about real bullets. You said as long as we talk about war and machine guns, the people will stay frightened, and then we can get rich.
Julius,
Yes. Down with Zuma, down.
so how can we believe anything you say now? First it's 100% for Zuma, then it's down with Zuma. First you say whites are criminals, then you say you'll die for them.
Team, stop being like this, man. Why can't two people treat me like Nelson Mandela, eh? He was also a radical youth leader.
So you want to go to prison for 27 years?
Go away. Floyd, get me a Sterry Stampy. My mouth is dry.
I gave you my last 4 rand.
You won't take a bullet for me. You won't get me a Sterry Stampy. You can't trust anybody nowadays.
Well, that's our show. Why are we doing this? Because here we can. From me, team, and the team is Hamburger. Goodbye and Futek.
Goodbye, enormous jeans. It seemed to me you lived your life like a can of beer in a pan, never knowing who to turn to when the trains fell in. And I would have liked to know you, but I was just a pooper. Your can of beer ran out long before I was old enough to drink.
Hey, Bucky, shut up, man. Who do you think you are? Bloody Elton junkies.